Hi everyone, welcome to GrownKid. I'm Gael.
And I'm Kayla.
And today we're talking with the amazing Betsey Johnson.
Gael and Kayla.
We're in your beautiful home, in your beautiful
Thank you for
chair.
having me.
Of course.
Thank you. I hope I can.
You're going to drop
Hope
some
you like
wisdom.
me, guys. Hope
They'll
I-
love you.
Oh, they will love you.
Hope you get something from this.
Of course they will.
Chit chat.
You have lived a long life and we have so much to learn
Man,
from you.
82. I want to celebrate that.
When is your birthday?
August 10th.
Leo.
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 Frightening. August 10th, 1942.
I have a lot of Leos in my life.
Yes.
Leo's, yeah, good. The
They're good.
Taurus rising helps because that's
a Leo
a work.
rising.
You're
So-
Leo rising. That
Taurus.
I mean, it's all good. I know this much about all of that
Me too.
stuff.
But it's
just
all when
fun.
people tell me.
Yeah, it's just fun.
But it's
Something
yeah,
to banter about.
GrownKid is made possible by the Schultz Family Foundation, dedicated to helping young people unlock their full potential and successfully navigate to fulfilling careers. GrownKid is made in partnership with Joy Coalition, where purpose-driven content means powerful storytelling. From 13 Reasons Why to Unprisoned, Joy Coalition projects are made to bridge generations and drive groundbreaking conversations.
And, you know,
Goody.
recently we've been spending our days eating a lot of good food, seeing friends, and doing our best to balance sleeping, our health, and our career. But I want to know, how did you spend your days when you were our age, 21?
21. Let me think. Where was I at 21? What had I graduated from Syracuse University? Did I enter a contest, a Mademoiselle magazine contest after college because I didn't want to just show up at doors with my portfolio. I wanted a toe in the door. And I thought, if I can win this contest, and it was, but anyway, so 21, let me think, was I 20? I think I won the contest. I was working at Mademoiselle magazine. I had no idea what I wanted to do, except I knew I needed to do something in New York City. That was either going to be, now I skipped over, that was either going to be a Rockette or a Broadway dancer. I really wanted New York and Broadway and
Oh, yeah.
performance.
Yeah.
Because I had been a dancing school teacher my whole life and just wanted that. That was my career, except then I got sidetracked into cheerleading, which I also loved. I was a cheerleader for 9 years. And I was a cheerleader I was head cheerleader at Syracuse University, and studied fine arts and art and all the regular junk you have to take. I don't want a teaching gig, but I do like lectures. I love 3 hours and a bunch of kids in a big room.
Yeah.
And questions and answers and all that. But
That's
they
interesting.
they have me because they expect me to go through it from 1 to 7 steps, and they're going to go out and do it the same way. And what I like about my story is none of it makes any sense, and you can't learn from it or live by it or copy it or anything, but you just kind of are connected to something, I think most of all called yourself. You're trying to survive, but I never had that, oh, I'm sad, depressed, lonely, and it's over. Now I'm hopping around. What I do is, my daughter finally told me last week, she thinks I have ADD or AD,
One of the ones.
AD, da, 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 da.
ADHD.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
See, because I grew up without initials. There were no initials, no shrinks. 1942. That's pre-shrinks. I'm sure people had therapists.
Right.
And, but, yeah, not my family. Little picket fence, Connecticut.
Right.
No therapists, no shrinks.
So you figured it out yourself. You were resilient and you were dealing with challenges, but how did you overcome them?
I was always busy.
Always having something to do.
Always having something to do, always wanting something to make, I'm a hands make it. Am I supposed to be looking at a camera? Probably. Hi. So anyway, I like to be busy. My mother was completely busy all the time.
There's no room to really think too much. I mean, really about
Well,
all
it was
the
just
bad.
healthy, and we walked to school. School was fun. School was country, normal. Of course, I would be just like everybody else. Happy, sad, depressed. I'm awful. But to me, you're either up or you're down. I really think it's gray is something I don't know about. I know that I cannot function sad or depressed. I can't. It just, I would not do well as a depressed person. I would be gone. I'd be off the bridge. I'd be gone in a second because I don't go into gray areas. I either go really down, which I can't remember if I ever did.
Really?
Oh.
You were, I mean,
I couldn't go really down because I wouldn't be able to live.
right.
So I have always hung on to really up. Even if I make it up, or just change the subject, or just start to make something else, but I can't function.
Well, that's true because
down. I can't.
if you keep doing the same thing, how do you expect different results? So if your current lifestyle is making you sad, then you obviously have to change something. And it seems like you always were finding ways to be happy, whether it was through new projects or more
I
work.
was survival. I had to find a way
Yeah.
to be happy because basically I'm a very insecure, quiet recluse of a highly anxious, nervous, scared person. Basically, nobody thinks that because I said, I can't be that. I gotta jump the fence and stay positive. And
Right.
I know my trick.
What is your trick?
We would love to know.
Yes.
Oh, I would love to know.
Where are they? Where are they? Blinders.
Oh,
That's my trick. Blinders. It's terrible. It's very self-centered.
no, but
It's-
I kind of agree with that.
I put my blinders
Yes.
on so I don't hear, I'm not done in by the noise out there getting to me. I just go like this, very selfishly, and go full speed ahead.
You can't overthink anything. You can't afford to overthink. You have to just do it.
Yeah, and the problem is I do overthink everything. So that's why I have to put the blinders on.
How do you deal with that overthinking? Because I'm an overthinker myself.
No, we know a lot of friends that are overthinkers.
We've talked about this. I overthink a lot, so I'm just curious.
I know.
How do you deal with that?
I don't know. I think you have to think, don't overthink. I've never been the kind to go into a yoga, okay, I'm in the twilight zone. I'm free and clear of everything.
Yeah.
No, I at my age, feeling that I've been the same person my whole life, I don't want to change. I can't change myself. So I've decided to be pretty happy, but not from my perfection. I just have.
Is it acceptance?
And ask my daughter. It's like, I'm a workaholic. I am with the blinders on. So it's not great.
Right.
I'm not very all-inclusive and great in social situations. I'm really, like you coming over, I'm nervous. I'm like, oh God. Ed is like, hey, this is great. It's great. But no, not me. I'm nervous. I'm worried.
And then how do you
Insecure,
feel
totally
after?
insecure.
Because something I noticed in myself is I realized I have a lot of social anxiety beforehand, but then I got some really great advice that was like, well, take notice of how you feel after. And I realized that a lot of things that I'm scared to do, after I do it, I'm like, that was great. I loved it. So now I just have to know myself.
I know. Why do we have this negative, scary thing about
I don't know.
ourselves?
I don't know.
We're all struggling.
It's just.
It's hard.
I'm
It's
so
hard.
glad I'm not different from you guys.
No,
That's
not
so
at all.
funny that
What
we
is
have
it?
the
You went
same.
from young kids, now you're grown-up kids.
Now we're grown kids.
Well, I'm grown, and I feel exactly the same. But I like that there's some. I always followed Tina Turner. I thought that she was just my kick-ass girl, that I needed a role model, and Tina Turner was it. And I hope that I represent just whatever you are, keep it going. Just keep yourself alive.
Yeah.
Keep moving, keep grooving, keep trying to discover something. I'm as bad as like Ed put that painting I did, that 2-second shit-ass job of whatever I put on
was
paper.
amazing.
We'll get a
It
clip
was-
of that.
yeah,
We'll get a
please
clip of
invite
that
me.
amazing
Yeah, and
painting.
I'm like, I've been tortured the last couple of months because I should be painting, I should be creating, I should be drawing, I should be doing something.
Why
else.
should?
Because I want to, because I do have my dull zones. I do have zones where it's not filled up enough. Because, I don't know, but I'm happy. I have no regrets except for a few marriages and stuff like that. I've just had my blonde hairs on. And hopefully been a good person, and that to me is the most important thing. Because alone, you can't be alone, even though you can feel alone and that you are alone, but to do anything you need somebody. And to me, my one rule of thumb, and it sounds so dorky, stupid, but it truly is, be nice. Maybe there's another word.
Kind.
What's another nice? Kind is a good.
Respectful.
Respectful. Considerate.
Patient.
Compassionate.
Yeah. Oh, we got
And
him.
then you'll be fine. I just think that's
I'm so
the only way to
interested.
go. But I guess it's hard if you're not feeling good and you're sad.
Well, I also want to know how your definition of happiness changed from 20, 30, 40, and now in your later years. Are there things that make you happy now that you never knew would make you happy if you told yourself that 20 years ago, 30 years ago? Have you always known what makes you happy?
Usually, when something goes great, called successful, or when it works,
Oh.
it makes you happy, right? I need that to make me happy. Yeah, it doesn't everybody, because otherwise you're a failure and then you're depressed. So,
And how big does that win need to be? Do you find it in even the small things of this was a success because I cooked a great dish or something?
boy, now is the point where I wish I was in therapy so
Do
I could
you?
answer your questions. Do you believe that? I have never gone into therapy. I went once to a shrink in New York, and it didn't work for me. I was too worried, and I showed up with a lot of notes. It was just...
You were prepared. You were prepared.
Yeah, I was prepared to talk about what I didn't know about. Then, anyway, so that never worked for me, and I don't know. But my work has saved me. As selfish as that is, I love my work. I love making clothes. I guess I love painting now. I love anything that you
Yes.
can create. And what was the question?
Like work.
Yeah.
I'm hopeless. Wouldn't you think I'd be better at this at my age?
I think you're doing
You're doing
great.
amazing. Yeah.
Well, I like people to know that you live what you live every day. You don't grow up into becoming this. Maybe you go backwards as you get forward. As you go forwards, you go backwards. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do think you have to have some sense of what makes you happy.
Did you discover that
go for
early
that.
on?
Do you know
Yeah,
what that
dancing
is?
school made me happy. At 4 years old, I was the town cake decorator. That made me happy. Real dorky, fun, creative, making things. I think making stuff can really save you, can really
Well,
put
art is
you
powerful.
together.
Yeah.
Any old thing.
And going to the idea of work of like having your blinders on and just being selfish and putting yourself and your life like into your career, did you ever feel a sense of
But I
guilt,
always
I
needed
guess?
people. I always worked with my sewing ladies and my pattern makers and my models and my people. I mean, I always needed that
so you found community in that too?
community because it was greater because we worked on something together.
Yeah.
Instead of so alone, because I was way alone too much. But I felt that to do my work, I needed to be alone. I'm not a group worker. I make it happen within a group of people, but initially, I'm a real loner, an isolator. I don't want to share ideas. I don't need the exchange. I just like to do it all by myself. Very double Leo Taurus fucking rising. I mean, ask anyone about a Leo. They're like, oh, help. But I'm one of those Leos that are good and bad because the good side of the Leo comes out and it's all happy, happy. But
Yes.
then there's the Leo that comes out with the pail of water.
That happens to me. That happens to me.
It's
You
like
see, I have my
yin
moments,
yang.
my highs, where I'm like, everything makes sense. The world is easy. It's at my fingertips. I can grasp it. And then one day I'll wake up and it all crashes. Like, I have no inspiration. I don't know what to do. The world is blurry. Do you ever have that? And if so, how
Every
do
day.
how do you overcome it? What is the secret?
I lie in bed until I figure out a plan, usually.
And what's the thought pattern there?
I think, what am I going to do today? And I've been going through a lot of this because even at 82, I'm going through a midlife crisis, a 20 crisis. I'm in the
There's
same
one in
boat
every
you guys
decade.
are
Oh,
in.
gosh.
I don't think people get older. I think they just get more them. And their age changes. But yeah, I just kind of like to think, what am I going to do?
Do you just let
And
it come
then I
to
have
you?
to come, huh?
You just let it come to you sometimes?
No, I want to get out of bed, but I don't want to get out until I know I have a plan for the day. I'm not good without a plan. That's when it's not good for me. So I don't let that happen.
Yeah.
So I have a plan of what I'm going to make. I met my true love, my husband, Ed, so the plan has to involve two people now. Oh, hi, Ed. Oh, I forgot.
It is over there.
Yeah. So it's weird for me to have I would go through husbands, 2 years from, very short times but 4 husbands. I would just go. But Ed and I know we're forever. Ed is completely,
When it comes to
So I do have to include Ed in my plans,
Yeah.
which is harder. I was
now you're thinking
much
for 2
better
people.
off on my own.
But you're happier now.
I'm happier.
See?
Yes.
So sacrifice sometimes leads to happiness. It's interesting. Do you feel like as you've grown into your later years, your priorities have shifted? Are there things that you find so much more important now, whether it be family or health or sleep or...
Yeah, I feel my family is as important as always.
Right.
Ed, Lulu, my grandkids, they're always a constant importance. Eating, I have a farm in Mexico and a house in Mexico, so we grow our own food now. Eating really great stuff is really important. I used to live on licorice, red vines. I was like that singer, red vines and cigarettes. Well, I wasn't into the cigarettes, but the red vines and almonds. I would, look at your tattoo.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, you have your own?
Only
one tattoo?
Only one tattoo. I could stop because it hurt so much. But, so what was I saying?
So your priorities, you've always been the same. Family, food now.
Work.
Work. That's always been pretty.
Family and work and food, I think.
What about
And
friendships?
I'm trying to exercise, trying to do 40 to 60 push-ups a day.
That's pretty impressive.
The exercise
even do
is
that.
hard.
Yeah.
But down on the farm, I'm always up and down the stairs. It's just Malibu that gets stagnant
Yes.
because we're in a trailer park, so there's just a little deck. But there is a whole 250 house trailer park roadway out there we could go walking on, and we're lazy. We're not.
But you've never been a lazy person. You've always been.
Oh, never been a lazy.
Right?
I just mean in terms of Jane Fonda and exercise.
That's a different one.
That's a different
one.
thing.
That is.
No, I've
that
never
doesn't
been
count.
lazy.
No, that doesn't
I've never
count.
been lazy. I can't sleep late. And the interesting thing I'd like you youngins out there to know is somehow my picket fence, I missed drugs. I went with druggies. I was very attracted to somehow musicians. They were all, everyone 60s. I hit New York City, the Chelsea Hotel in 1964. And so I would be around drugs, but I could not function on drugs. So I didn't smoke grass till I was like 35. I didn't do heroin. I didn't do speed. I didn't do coke.
Okay.
I didn't do any of that stuff. And everyone around me was, but I knew that I couldn't be at work at 8:30 in the morning. I was saved by my work setup.
Right.
Because I had jobs. I was better at jobs than free form, at home, alone, work, get up. That's what I have to create now, and I'm lousy at it. I can't. I mean, I'm ready to tear up that picture you liked.
No, it was so good.
I have no security about if I have time and I'm alone, what do I do? But my whole life, I never had time. I never was alone, except when I worked, I was alone. Yeah. But I always had a job. I had my dancing school to run. I had at least 10 dancing classes every week to take. Then I taught. Then every school break, I would go to New York and study dance. I was a big believer in New York, even coming from a little farmland.
In the city, yeah.
In the city. I knew I was a city girl. And that's why I went to Pratt my first year. I'm rambling all over.
No, well,
but I didn't like Pratt. They were too artsy-fartsy, stuck up.
I think that's
so I wanted to go to a school with cheerleading. And I went with the quarterback, and too bad Syracuse was not in any kind of, I think we made the Orange Bowl.
And about friendships, I'm curious, because it seems like you know that community and your people.
Yeah, I never had very many friends.
Really?
I didn't have the time for a lot of friends. My friends were my sewing ladies. My people I worked with turned out to be my friends. My friends, because I'm such a loner, turn out to be people that work in the restaurants. They turn out to be my friends. I mean, but I worked with my friends. I always had one main BFF, or whatever they call it, Marion Mattoon, Chantal in high school for years, and then Chantal has been my friend for 40 years, my business partner, my friend.
Yeah.
And I've always found that one or two really great friends are what I need. A big circle of them is too much of a responsibility to keep everybody entertained and happy. And, I've been, anyway, another question.
Well, Kayla and I have been friends for almost a decade. Yeah. We've known each other since
but
middle school.
But you're brother and sister, aren't you?
No. That's where they get us confused.
We're clearing up the rumors.
Oh!
We're here to clear up the
I thought you were twins or brother and sister.
No, we get that, but we're not.
Get that.
We're not really.
We met when we were 13 in middle school.
Yeah.
And then we worked together. And that's kind of what I have found is that when you work with your friends, those are sometimes the most meaningful friendships because you have a shared sense of purpose. You're both working towards a similar goal, and it seems like there was a lot of people in your life that helped you reach that. So I'm curious, how have the friendships you've had for 40 years evolved in the sense of how do you just keep it, that connection alive?
Well, when you get older, everybody's got a life. So the few friends you have, whenever you connect, it's a great connection. It's nothing you have to maintain or keep up. Like when you're kids, if you don't see your friends,
It fizzles.
it fizzles and you're missing something. As you get older, the friendship is just more real. More. I want to know, did you guys go to shrinks?
Shrinks.
Did you have therapists as you were growing up at 14, 15?
We talked about
did you
this.
just wing it?
Each other, me and my friends were each other's therapists,
That's
essentially.
what you did.
Yeah, every week we would talk about our emotions. And you never tried therapy.
I didn't try therapy. I honestly wasn't aware of it until we started the past podcast, like 15 years old. And even then, I didn't really know what steps to take to like
How to do it.
Yeah, how to do it. And my parents didn't know either. And so for a long time, I was just confused about the idea. And then I just didn't want to do it anymore. But now recently, I've been thinking about it again, just because I feel like I have a lot to learn about myself. Like areas that I can't reach just by myself. Like I need somebody wiser, like you, for example, giving me all this amazing advice.
I should follow suit. I should find a therapist, but
Do you think you would do it now?
nope. It's not too late. It's just not right for me
Right.
because it'll just lead me to worry and wonder.
That is one thing we're also talking about, is what's the line between healthy self-reflection and just thinking about it too much,
That's a problem. I don't know. I overthink. What was I talking to the other day? Remember, Edward? It was like, oh, we just overthink. My daughter, probably. We just overthink. But you can't just go to have a lobotomy. I would always do that. I'm having a lobotomy and just try and cut it out. But that doesn't do anything. I think you have to think what you need to think until you've thunk it done.
Yeah. And, well, that's interesting, because I think when it comes to your work and also your personal fulfillment, it seems like your work is your happiness. And the best piece of advice that I ever got was, in everything that you do, if you ever want to find your sense of purpose, what makes you feel fulfilled, is look for that red string that ties everything together. Throughout every project, internship, job, whatever you've ever done, like, what is at the core of it? Is it creativity? Is it helping young people feel less alone like it is for us? What is that for you? What is your red string?
Red string. Yeah, I know. What is the necklace? What ties it all together? I don't know. For me, I think it's trying to figure out what I want to make, what I want to do, and I haven't figured that out. I don't think you ever figure it out. Even if you know what you're doing is stuff you like to do, but the great part about that is it usually changes. So what you're doing is always changing, so then you never can really figure it out. So I just think, be happy and go with it. Just give it a go, whatever it is.
Just try it.
Any old thing. And just don't hurt anyone. Be nice. Right, Joy? Be nice. And just try and have a happy day. Whatever makes you happy. You know?
Just keep going.
Just keep
going.
just keep doing it. And something will happen. Just take care of yourself.
Do you think you're happy now?
Very happy now. Yeah. I'd be happier if I didn't have to pee. Can I excuse myself and go
that's
pee
it.
for a minute? I'm coming
Thank
right
you
back.
so much.
I was asked to do a Bayer aspirin commercial. This is the funny stuff that kids should know.
What is
Don't
it?
expect it to come from normal places and people and things. Just be open to anything happening at any time, anywhere, and go for it.
Just say yes. Keep saying yes. Yeah.
Because that was interesting. I mean, this saying yes changed my life, and it just kept going and going. But I never had a plan. So I just kind of sized up what was going on at that time and thought yes or no and went with it. I never put it all together and thought, well, now I'm 10 years down the road in this. I know what I'm doing. I'll do this. I always felt I was at the beginning of something, which kept it really fresh.
That is so interesting. You always felt like you were at the beginning of something. I think I sometimes tend to see my life in that way of like, it's all starting now, life is starting now. Does it ever feel like, oh, life has started? Or is it always kind of like, in that sense, restarting? Does that make sense?
I like the idea of it starting and keep on starting and starting, because then it's new.
Right.
But let me tell you how I really got started.
Yes.
I was pretty well known. It was like early 70s. No, mid 70s. Something. I was with a company called Alley Cat. You wouldn't, would you? Do you remember Alley Cat? Well, I mean, the junior sportswear dresses, the prom, and I was kind of known. And the Bear Aspirin company calls me and said, would I do a television commercial? It'll be in my workroom, the full set of Betsey's workroom. I'm in the rocking chair. Who has a rocking chair in their workroom? And the rocking chair, and it's like, yeah, I take Bear Aspirin and da-da-da. But the payoff was 150 grand for 1 hour doing the commercial in Long Island City. And I'm like, that really sounds great, because I'm beginning to think I'll need some kind of money, because I'm not going to get a job with anyone. Nobody wants to hire me. So anyway, so I say no to the Bear Aspirin commercial, even though it's a lot of money. I think my customers, my girls that I have, and I've always felt the girls that wore my clothes are like family.
Yeah.
They're
your people.
They're
your
my
tribe.
people. They're my
Yes.
people. They're living that dress. I'm designing it and pretending I'm going to the prom in it, but they're actually living it and wearing it. So I care about them. I want to know, did they have a good time at the prom? Anyway, so I say no to the Bear Aspirin, because I think my girls will think, how tacky are you? We know you're earning money from this. This was before John McEnroe. And who those, guys with the zillions of licenses?
Yeah.
This, or like promoting things, this was before anybody was selling a product in a way, in a big way.
Right.
So I said no to Bear Aspirin. And then I thought, that's kind of stupid to say no, because I need that money. And my family religiously has taken Bear Aspirin from day one. My great-grandma, everybody had Bear Aspirin in their house. No anything else, only Bear Aspirin. So I felt it wasn't a lie. I really did live on, or grow up with Bear Aspirin. So I did it, and that was just another thing that happened that was good. And then, I don't know.
Because in life, things just happen to you, and it's just about being prepared, how you react to it, being ready for the moment.
I don't think you can be ready for a moment you don't know about.
You just have to do it, even if you're scared.
You have to do it, but you have to say, I'm not going down, I'm going above the horizon line. I'm staying up. Somehow or other, you just have to turn everything into a good thing, an up thing.
And I feel
You
like
just
that's-
have to, otherwise negative, and I did get negative as anybody else, but it doesn't get you anywhere. That's the problem.
Yeah. And I mean, through your clothes, it seems like what has been at the core of it, from what I can see, is that you're helping millions of young girls and women feel good. You're helping them feel confident.
Yeah. Even in my most saleable $98 dress way, I'm not like Comme des Garçons or Ray Kabakubio. I mean, I'm not that couture, that level of designers at all. I always swore I would never make anything more expensive than a round trip $99 trip to Puerto Rico. Because, boy, if I could go to Puerto Rico for the weekend for $99, why should a dress be more than that?
Yeah.
So I really tried all the time to keep the prices down to what I could afford. And I didn't come from any bucks. That was what was really good. That's what you notice difference in Malibu. Malibu it's rumored that, I mean, there's a lot of money here.
Right.
People come from money. They know money. They're comfortable with money. My family came from absolutely just good, honest work, lifeguard summers, and, you know.
Yeah. And how did that affect you throughout your work? Did you ever feel a pressure to chase your dreams or chase financial stability?
Well, I didn't think anything that you wanted to do should have to cost money. Like my first couple of jobs didn't cost me any money. Nothing ever cost me money until I saw, oh my God, this could be my business. So I need some money now for that business. But initially, I never had any money, so I never even thought how different it would be if I had money. And it is very different if you have money.
How's it
different now?
Happiness?
I think sometimes it can make it easier, but what if you join the wrong money? Like husbands. You know, it's all fun and games until it's the wrong collaboration, the wrong partnership. And I learned the hard way. I usually learn the hard way with everything by making the mistake. But the thing is, I didn't spend years living the mistake. When I realized this is a mistake, somebody said, "What do you do when you're in a hole?" And they said, you get out of it. And I thought, of course you get out of it. But that's really hard to see that you're going nowhere and you're in a hole. And so somebody said that to me and it snapped me out of. So when I get down and in a hole, I think that's going to get me nowhere.
So now you have to get out of it.
And then I seem like a very optimistic, happy person, but I'm not any more than anybody else. I think we all have our equal balance of up and down. And that if we want to have a nicer day, it's just stay more up. Do anything to stay more up. Anything.
Interested in a career in mental health? Check out the Youth Mental Health Corps, a new program created by the Schultz Family Foundation, Pinterest, and AmeriCorps, where anyone with a high school degree can gain experience, skills, and a credential during a year of paid service in the mental health field. You can learn more at youthmentalhealthcorps.org or by checking out the link in the description.
You know, you mentioned that you're an introvert. I feel like I'm also a little bit of an introvert at times, but I think whenever I put on a good outfit or a good pair of heels, a good pair of shoes, I feel so much more confident. I feel like I can, do my tasks of the day. And I'm just curious, like, how do you maintain your confidence? Like, how do you have that courage to just go throughout the day?
Because I want to live, basically. Sometimes I get up and think, oh, another day, I don't know. But no, how do I have the calm? I just keep doing and looking and seeing and.
Does it ever make you feel, I'm curious how much joy just seeing now your work going from, the work you did when you were 20 and now seeing your dresses worn by millions and so many.
It's a trip.
What is that? How do you process that? Do you ever
Just don't
truly
know.
process
And you don't
it?
know the girls that I've helped. My store girls, I had a family business. My pink stores, I had 74 stores eventually. And all independent. Nobody would buy me. Bloomingdale's wouldn't buy me. The only store you wouldn't know was Fiorucci, very far out. Yay, Fiorucci! Yeah, it was a very far out Italian. They picked up my first collection and gave me the Fiorucci 58th Street windows along Bloomingdale's. I mean, anyway, what was the question?
How have you seen? Do you really process that there's so many millions of people you've brought joy and confidence
But
to?
I feel them. I
You
feel my girls. I've always felt that my customer is my best friend, is me. I was my own guinea pig. When I lived at the Chelsea Hotel, it was great because I had a big work studio. I was inventing clothes, really inventing. And I would And I was doing clothes for a Far Out movie, and I would dress in the clothes and go sit in the lobby at the Chelsea Hotel. And I'd have a bizarre outfit, some cone kind of net, like Martha Graham, like bizarre outfit on. And nobody would look. That was the Chelsea in the 60s and 70s. It was so out there that nobody would notice you. Nobody would look. Oh, I don't know. What was the
Be
question
yourself.
again?
You can be completely yourself during that
Just
time.
don't be afraid and have friends and make stuff.
Yeah.
And mix up your day and go look at birdies. Boy, Ed's gotten me really into birdies. Is that a bird?
Yeah. So see,
Really.
that's the answer to happiness.
Entertain yourself, and be nice to yourself, and somehow treat yourself. And I don't know. I just don't know. But I know that I've seen my clothes help girls in wheelchairs, in girls not doing well on their own, physically, mentally, just not doing well. And that was when I used to hang around the store a bit, and I would meet a lot of my customers. And it's amazing when a girl puts on, even a guy too.
We'll get both of us in Betsey Johnson dresses.
Yeah.
And because I just started with myself and found my girl in New York City, and then found more girls and never advertised, and just had my stores. We gave up trying to get anyone to believe in us and buy us. That's a good thing. Failure really can work for you because it keeps you from signing the bad contract or the going into something if you fail at it, then you get a chance to start all over again.
Failure. Have you been through a lot of that? Have you been able to overcome challenges in your personal life, whether it be a friendship? Because I think young people nowadays are just scared of failure. They're scared of putting themselves out there because they don't know how to deal with it.
I know. I don't know. I just hope that kids, that they get help. They go to a friend. They get help. They get help because they need help.
Yeah. Well,
If things aren't going well and you can't do it on your own, you obviously got to find some help. And you're young. It's very different from growing up.
I know.
And growing up changes. For me, it changed a lot, all the time.
Really? What does that
Yeah,
mean?
we'd open another store and it'd get funner and funner, but it'd get harder and harder.
Right.
And we got this close to going under many, many, many times, but somehow got through it. Somehow.
Right.
In any way to, I don't know. I don't know. I would not like to be young and try and figure it out, but now I feel I'm 82 and I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing.
Well, we're in it together. We're all
We're
just a
in it
bunch of
together.
GrownKids.
Yeah.
That's
We're
all we
in
can
it
take
together.
comfort in.
Scared, overwhelmed, confused.
And little by little, day by day. And even just talking to
but
people
what
like you.
scares me is you are in Technoland,
Oh, yes.
which I don't know about. And what scares me about now is that I can't function very well at all. I can't work the television. I can hardly work my cell phone. I just do not connect with your world that you have and you can connect to, and you know how to run it.
Yeah.
Do you have that pressure of like you're falling behind everybody else in that sense?
Totally. I'm hopeless.
Did you feel that when you were younger as well?
Nope, because younger for me was, I had my dancing school, I had my cake decorating business.
You were ahead.
I could do lots of different things. I could make lots of different things. And I had dreams, and if being a Rockette fell through, well, being a cheerleader for 9 years was a good second.
There's new dreams
And
to
if that
pursue.
fell
I
through,
love that.
I'll enter a contest.
Yeah.
And if that fell through, I'd enter another contest. Or it's so lame, but God, you got to have your fucking health. Pardon my French. You got to have your health. If I wasn't well throughout my life, and I had breast cancer big time, and heart disease big time, seizures and that junk, but basically healthy, basically strong and healthy.
I love that.
And I mean, that's the most important thing. And then it's your mind. And
Continue with it all.
I just think, I think making stuff has saved me from my mind.
Yeah, I love that sentence. And I think that's probably the most important part is that if you're young, you have time. One dream fails, on to the next. Second dream fails, on to the next. But there's so much you can do. And so much purpose to find in trying everything. Because if one thing doesn't work out, maybe the next thing is your passion.
You never know.
You never know. How could you know if you haven't tried it?
And I've been dying to know because I know what I know, and I realize that's all I know.
Yes.
I know how to make a good dress, lots of ruffles, and I know my work. I know that, but I know nothing else. I mean, that's what's a little unequal.
It's okay.
About it. I'm very unbalanced in that I know a whole lot about that, but I'm really lightweight in lots of other areas.
Even with that, you've helped so many people. So I think maybe there's some comfort in that you don't need to know everything. As long as you know what makes you happy and what makes you feel fulfilled, then maybe that's all you need to make an impact on the world. And so,
well, don't think about the impact on the world. I just think take it one day, go to the beach with some friends and have some fun.
Listen to
I
some
like
birds.
that because I
Take
think
it one day at a time. And I do think that, like Ed, my husband here, got me to finally put the damn pen on the paper. Because for 2 years I've been worried, what am I doing next? I know what I know, but I don't. But then I'm stuck, just like you guys are stuck. There's no difference being stuck at 82 or 42 or 22. If you're stuck, just, I don't know. I used to eat my way out of it. I used to be much heavier. Yep. And I got sick, finally. I got sick enough to lose weight. When I had my breast cancer, I got sick enough. So at 65, I finally became the small-ish body that I always wanted and always was tortured by. Yo-yo dieting and all that bullshit.
Oh, yes, but at what cost?
Everyone thinks I'm normal, but I'm very... Can you be a teenager in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s? It's no different from 20, what are we?
21 now.
It's all, don't you think it's all kind of the same?
I think we all face the same issues.
Yeah.
And it's so comforting to hear that you feel the same way. A lot of the things that we're dealing with, we're feeling every single day in you as well.
But
because as much as you can lock something in, it can't, maybe it doesn't work forever. Maybe it does stop.
Yeah.
And you're at ground zero. You're nowhere.
Did you ever have a point in time where you were just like comfortable, secure, you weren't necessarily like worrying about anything else in your life? Or was there always something that...
I think, unfortunately, Wethersfield, Connecticut turned out worry warts. We would be called worry warts. And we just worry. It was just part of a lifestyle.
I feel that.
It was
Worry warts.
just worrying. It was just normal, right? It was normal.
It's normal. A lot of these things are normal.
Yeah.
Very normal. Just stay alive.
Stay alive.
One day at a time. One day at a time.
Staying alive.
Well, Betsey.
What did I just see? Freddie Mercury. Oh, but to me, did you see Poor Things?
Yes.
Yes, we did. We saw it together, actually,
We
in
did see it
theaters.
together. What'd you
Yeah,
think of
I
it?
need little inspirations like that. That just, because without a lot of friends, I don't know what movies to go to. I don't know what to watch. And just ran into Poor Things, and I love Emily Blunt.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's such a...
And I love
The
that
artistry
it's
of
so
it, the
far out.
creativity.
Just so far out. So it's stuff like a movie like that that'll keep me going and really inspire me. That movie, oh.
So you have to get out of your own work, out of your own head to find inspiration. You gotta just go, not worry about it, and it comes to you.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it comes from anywhere. I mean, that's why I collect all this junk, because every picture is a story, every little tchotchke is a memory. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh.
Before we wrap up the
Okay.
Well, Betsey already is in, Kayla already is in a Betsey formula. That is my
I was feeling
formula.
very
The
Betsey
little, the
today.
top, little sexy top, crop, little top. And I used to, my artwork, I was really big time with my painting back then, my artwork back then was on the knitting machines. I love machinery and factories and learning the machinery that lets me know how to do the artwork that works on the machinery. So that was, you're wearing my total formula. A little flippy
got her on
shipping.
lockdown.
Smart Jacobs.
So what I'm about to put you in is way more boring.
Don't.
But I'll put you in my classic. I found out, somebody told me, and I didn't know anything about fashion, and I never studied fashion. I think that's really important, but I sewed. My mom had to make my dancing costumes. I made my dancing costumes out of all my incredible sequins and tools and tarletans, and I made all those costumes for my dolls. And the main thing about being an acrobat, aerialist, I had like 12 dancing costumes a year. My poor mother, who hated to sew, had to make them. But they also had to function. I mean, I had to do acrobatic, inside-out, contortionist junk in my costumes. So what was I? So I learned that most of all, clothes have to work with the body.
It has to be functional.
Functional.
Yes,
and
I
really work
completely
with you.
agree.
And that's why I ended up a lot in stretch and in sequins and glitter and rock and roll kind of stuff. So this is a very basic dress, but somebody said this lady Chanel, and all you need is one silhouette. And I'm like, I know her silhouette. It's a box, right? It's straight. It's her head, her shoulders, and it goes down straight in a straight skirt. But she said, that's all you need, and stick with that. Now, I didn't know Chanel and her look, but I knew her look. And I thought, what is mine though? Because I'm a skin tight sheath dress, I'm a little tutu, flippy dress. So I realized I have about 4 basic shapes. But basically the thing is, sexy in, tutu out.
I love that. It's very like Carrie
That was
Bradshaw.
it. And that's what I stuck to, and that was the formula for prom, for bar mitzvahs, whatever. That somehow or other, my dancing costumes were basically prom dress ideas. They were all tutu and tap dancing and ballerina-y, all that formula of the ballerina tight, sexy, boobs, whatever. But not really, because I've loved being flat as a pancake. But the tutu thing. So prom, somehow, I found my category, which turned out to be prom time. I don't think there was anybody else that girls would That's how I met all my girls. They all went to the prom or to the school dance or to the bat mitzvah, whatever. And they had and they still have their prom dress to this day, a lot of them. I mean, every time I meet a girlfriend, a customer, she can tell me the drawer it's in, she can explain what it is, but most of all, she can tell me what a great time she had in this dress. And then I
We need a
feel like,
GrownKid prom. GrownKid
Am
X
I
Betsey
lucky?
Johnson, the prom.
I just
That'd be
know I
amazing.
am the luckiest, one of the luckiest people. Ed and I, we're saying that all the times to each other. How are we so lucky?
You're in a beautiful home, beautiful people,
Beautiful
beautiful
place.
nature.
Beautiful. Lucky. I don't want to die. That's the sad thing. That's what I'm trying to learn. How to learn how to go. That's a biggie.
I love that.
A lot of people, I mean, you usually avoid that your whole life. And that's what I'm trying to.
Process.
Or find acceptance in.
Something.
Gosh.
When I don't want to go.
It's like, I don't want it to happen yet.
I mean,
Like,
that's the thing.
that's the worst part about being stubborn is that you have to deal with things you
Yeah.
don't want to happen and you
it's
can't
so
avoid
sim-
it.
And that's what makes me mad because I always believe you can be so positive, you can do anything, but you can't avoid your own death. You cannot change that.
And that's just an annoying fact.
Is that coming
No,
from
I'm
Let
just
me
like,
stay.
Oh yeah,
like-
well,
just annoying.
we didn't grow up too good with that. I mean, it's always
her doing
been the
what?
main worry, I think. That's crazy.
Betsey, final question. Is there one piece of advice that you would tell a young person entering adulthood and starting their life?
Don't be afraid. Just do it. Keep it simple and do it. But don't be afraid. I think that's what's holds you back because you're afraid. Do it because it is not going to work. It is going to be wrong. It is going to go down the tubes. It isn't going to work. It's not. It's going to do all those crummy things, but it's also going to do great things. And you know, if you don't try, it's so old-fashioned, isn't it? Well, I can say old-fashioned. You know, if you build it, it will come.
I like that.
I like that.
I
Just
like
do
that.
it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Please
That's
just
it.
do
It's
it.
important
Please,
to
you guys.
love it. It's important if it's a good thing that you're doing, that you love
If
what
you
you're
love
doing.
it, do
to
it.
me, everything was, do I love doing this? Do I like doing this? Am I happy doing this? I grew up in that kind of a family. We were all optimists, and we helped each other. Come on, snap out of it. Just do it. At 82, you know, I go, just do it, Betsey, but you guys are so lucky that you're young and you have it all to do, to be, to live.